So this is a Q&A. Do we have actual questions?
Yep.
Oh, where did we get them?
I tweeted and I put a YouTube community post and
neat.
got like actually a ton of response.
Oh, thanks guys. I have a question. Why does YouTube keep costing down the gold play button?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to put this on display next to my other ones when it's like...
I mean, look, you're not gonna like this, but I kind of like this one.
What's wrong with this? I love this.
I'm not saying it's not nice. It's tasteful. It's just cost down. It's cheaper.
I like cheap things. So do you.
I do.
Okay, guys, let's start up these questions. Well, before that, I just want to say, obviously we're doing this because we hit 1 million subscribers on Techlinked, and that's awesome. We asked you for your questions, so we're going off a Twitter
Poor Riley,
post.
see how flustered he is? I'm having so much fun right now.
This is just how we talk.
I'm co-hosting. I'm hosting in front of you. It's like hosting in front of my dad. So what do we have here? Let's start off with a...
What is it that you would say you do here? Well, so many people think that Dennis is just like a quirky on-camera personality.
And what else do I do? Like,
they don't know that he actually edits the videos?
Yeah, like a lot of them.
I mean, he could be.
I edit a lot of videos.
Maybe we could just hire people just to be quirky on camera.
That's all I do.
That's me. Question number 1. Mark Facebookberg on Twitter says, what made you think this quick news sector of content was a viable option? Which is a great decision, I must say. And how long has this channel idea been in the works before the first video on Techlinked?
So, going back to the original Netlinked, I was just looking for a cheap, fast, easy way to hit my video quota.
Right.
And covering current events was a way that with as little effort as possible, I could crap out a video that, was very low risk. There was no motherboard that could die while I was in the middle of filming that would make it so that all the effort up until that point was wasted. And it was also an excuse to cover current events at NCIX, which was our way of disguising like product announcements and new store grand openings as news, but really they were marketing.
And you're talking about Netlinked Weekly.
Oh, way back, the originals.
Which is the first kind of iteration of this thing. It was a weekly tech news show, not a daily one.
Yes.
And then when I came on at NCIX, we started doing it daily and called it Netlink Daily instead of weekly.
Episode 11 was uploaded in September 2012.
So yeah, so it was only around for like a year.
Yeah.
So Netlink Weekly, Netlink Daily, and then after the fall of NCIX in 2017?
I don't even remember anymore.
I think it was 2017.
Yeah. After NCIX declared bankruptcy, I saw an opportunity to take content that the tech community loved, which was Netlink Daily, and just bring it under the LMG umbrella. I mean, who else was going to have a chance to go and negotiate the NCIX channel away from the NCIX management? Unfortunately, it wasn't a matter of convincing the NCIX management. We actually got that far. It was a matter of the creditors that were after NCIX's assets maybe having a reasonable claim to the NCIX YouTube channel that made it so that it made no sense for me to go through all the legal red tape that would be involved in acquiring it. So my goal had been to get the band back together and just take over the NCIX.com channel and rebrand it.
Yeah.
That was what I really wanted to do.
That's like an alternate universe where...
Failing that, I settled for just starting a new channel and bringing you in to start that from scratch. Now, as for whether...
Well, it's still not scratch. Scratch is the opportunity that anyone on the internet had to just do the same kind of format.
Okay, yes.
We had the host, so we have a similar name.
Yeah, Scratch with a gigantic kick in the ass out the door from Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah. Okay, so then leading on from that, we got Jan Pleschberger.
Those are my favorite kinds of burgers.
Yeah. Who asks, who and how did you guys come up with the name Techlinked?
Oh my god.
We had so many names that I liked more than Techlinked.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
So we vote for one, right? I remember you guys gave us a couple options.
Are you looking in your email?
Yeah, I actually want to see them all. Clinked, pronounced clinked, so we leave off the T and E, but it would be like an abbreviated Techlinked.
What?
Tech brief.
What is clinked? Who
Yeah,
did
what?
that?
That was Nick.
Like Techlinked, but without the TE?
Brink of Tech.
Are these all Nick?
Tech Point. Hold on.
He's all Nick.
Best and latest in tech, or BLT. Quickie News. And then he spends the next emails arguing with me about Techlinked because I said I liked that one best.
I think that, oh no, go ahead.
Embarrass me.
You had Short Circuit and Patch Notes.
Yeah, oh, patch notes. Yeah, I like that one too.
Memory Leak, Tech Synced, Tech Refresh, Input Source, the Daily Upload, Quick Tips. So here's Riley's short list as of March 5th, 2018. Tech Sync, the Daily Download / the Download, the Patch, ... maybe Techlinked. It sounds nerdy as hell, but I figure I could make some good uber nerd jokes with it.
Oh, wow.
Again, I'm in no big rush to get started, but do let me know if there's an update to the channel situation.
I'm in no big rush.
So that was when we were trying to figure out how to get the NCIX Tech Tips channel still, and Riley's just sitting there in like employment limbo.
Well,
that wasn't a real job.
I was doing a food show because I love food. That was sarcastic.
Proof that Riley is an incredible actor is him pretending to care about food on that show.
Yeah, I know, right? Oy, oy, oy. Techlinked, I actually kind of like, Techlinked was like, it makes the most sense. It's like, it's Techlinked, it's Netlinked, it's the spiritual successor, I don't know.
It even rhymed.
Okay, we got a bit of a logistical question now. How does the research process go for a video? Also, does it happen that you have too many stories for a single video? So, I guess out of us here, I'm the only person who
Oh, and John.
and well, yeah, John writes.
He's in
You've
North
written,
Carolina.
I read over a new person's work once or twice when you were gone.
Right. So okay, so I'll just answer real quickly. Like the research process is basically like I go through a set list of like sites that I have, and I just go and open all the tabs that I think are going to be interesting stories, and then I go through those stories and kind of like whittle it down until I feel like I have like 3 main stories, 5 quick bits.
But you're missing the time component.
So that takes many.
No.
When do you start?
When these stories are from.
They're from the day of.
That's right.
So I mean, if you guys don't know, Techlinked is fully produced all in one day. I come in the morning and we start it, and then we finish it by the end of the day, and we're out of there. So I don't think that there's tons of other content videos on the internet that kind of do a similar sort of thing.
I find that the bigger you get, the harder it is to make that part of your workflow. I mean, we have to make a lot of scheduling changes in order to accommodate TechLink's rigid upload schedule. Riley often comes in on holiday Mondays and Fridays and then trades that for a different day, and the same for Dennis.
Right.
And that's just to make sure that you guys know when to expect TechLink, because the thing is, like, for a global audience, around the world, not everybody has BC Day.
Yeah.
Yes. And this
But they
video,
should.
yeah, celebrate us.
So how do you choose the stories though?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like it's an interesting question about what we prioritize, because obviously tech news is huge.
Yeah.
It's a massive sphere of stuff.
Everything from computers to phones to like material science is
Right.
effectively tech.
Right.
To like KFC doing some wacky app or
Yeah.
a Faraday cage or something.
Yeah.
Or Elon Musk drive a type of truck in LA.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was last week.
Knocking over a pylon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great example of something that's like, okay, it's not really tech, but it's tech related and it's funny. So I want to make a joke about that in Techlinked, so then I'll include it.
It's almost more about the persona of who we think our listener is and who we are.
Right.
I like this, so they'll like this.
Indeed.
I'd say a lot of the time it's a balancing act. Like, we'll pick something that's funny, and then we'll pick something kind of serious, and then we'll lighten the mood with something funny again after that, just to keep it flowing, and also make sure that we're keeping people up to date. Like, I've seen so many comments on TechLink from people that are like, "Yep, this is how I keep up with tech." It's like it's like 15 minutes a week, very digestible, and I find that if there's something that I see that really grabs my attention, I can go dig into it further. You got all the original articles linked under the video, and I can do that at my own pace.
I prioritize big kind of announcements from like big companies like Samsung or Nvidia or AMD or just Valve or Apple or whatever. Any of these big companies, if they're announcing something major, that will probably be a main story. Under that, I kind of have like, you know, PC hardware related stuff, and then mobile related stuff, and like
Game consoles.
And then
Launch.
if there's a game launch, I might include it if it's like really interesting. This is kind of a question for all of us from Johan Carlson. How do you master the line between cringe and funny?
Let's-
Dennis.
Don't ask.
Why Dennis? How about Linus?
You should be, yeah, you guys.
I've answered lots of questions. I want to hear how you stay between cringe and funny.
Yeah, how do you determine when we
Like,
make...
actually, I cut out a lot of things that you guys don't see. So my line is very cringy, cringe, and maybe a little bit funny. So like, very cringy part is all gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will make cringe part like kind of funny.
Yeah,
and funny is like very funny.
I think we all just aim at funny, and some of us' idea of funny is just cringe. And then Dennis just does his best with the crap we give him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I actually like so much about the way we do things as a company in general. Having multiple chefs in the kitchen, in some ways, you can end up with a really bland product, but I think around here you actually end up with just the right amounts of cringiness, but all these different flavors. Like James is a regular writer on LTT and Riley does it from time to time. And then I will review the script for it. And then for TechLinked, actually, that review process generally takes place while I'm hosting it.
Yeah, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I'll review it and then I'll say, okay, yeah, this was too much. And then I might add something and James will go, that's way over the line. Then we actually film it. And in a lot of cases, the camera person will see something and they'll go, that was terrible, do it over.
Right.
Yeah, and then finally, it goes to our editor, who applies yet another filter to it. So I think if we had to answer, how do we toe that line? Well, it's by having, anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 sets of eyeballs looking at it.
Right.
Because after the fact, someone like Nick might end up reviewing the video before it actually gets uploaded.
But it's not all red tape and things getting removed, because the other part of that equation is respect for the people that you work with.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where you watch and you're like,
That was dumb.
he can keep it. Not my favorite, but someone will laugh at that. Like,
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, I feel really corporate when I talk about stuff like this, but we call the annotations that we put in a script for what visuals go with which lines guidance. And the specific reason that we use the word guidance instead of visuals is that it's guidance. It's not a law.
Right.
So if the editor sees guidance and goes, that's dumb, they have room to interpret it and do something that they think is better.
So what you're saying is Dennis is the real boss of the situation.
He's the actual gatekeeper.
No, I wouldn't say. So TechLinked, we don't have guidance.
I did not know that.
You don't have guidance.
What?
this
So-
right now.
all the stock footage, stock picture, image, like, I'll go there and choose it.
That's all the
Because there's no
editor.
time.
Yeah.
There's no time for
Yeah.
that.
Right, exactly.
Like,
Right.
So fix it in post.
Yeah, like guidance might actually take you longer, and without guidance, you can create more freely and like do whatever you want. Like I would somehow look up some memes, like say a Cybertruck, just Cybertruck meme.
Yeah.
Maybe something that can relate it to the jokes you guys are talking about.
Anything to make
Yeah.
what you're saying make sense in some way. What I give him is just a list of news stories. So I try to have multiple sources and like
Who writes the cute little captions?
The writer.
Right.
The writer does,
Yeah.
okay. Because a lot of the time they're very clever. They're
They're
like
so
actually one
cute.
of my favorite parts of the episode. It's like, what are they going to put in there this time?
You see that kind of thing in other news broadcasts, but ours are just kind of like,
A lot of
they're over the
Like,
top.
it's like a parody of an actual news
Right.
podcast.
They're
Yeah.
over the top.
PewDiePie.
Basically, the worst pun you can come up with is like good. It's a good candidate.
Yeah.
Anch Sony says, how much is improv and how much is scripted? So like Linus is a great example of taking a script and just kind of like saying
God.
whatever he wants.
Always off the script. Always off. And like your footage would be like 30% longer than theirs. You just like off to something else.
I'm having fun. TechLinked is when I like cut back. It's when cut loose. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. It's like a tertiary channel anyway.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Well, this. Thank you.
Okay, in all seriousness.
The gold play button just starts melting.
Okay, but seriously though, I think that's a lot of where TechLinked gets its irreverent take on the news was
Irreverence, right.
unintentionally.
Right.
So I started hosting Netlink Daily when I would go into the NCIX studio on Fridays. And Fridays, I was very time constrained because at the time it was Riley, Chris, and was Jack there
Jack
yet?
was there.
And Jack. They would all prepare the episodes. This was before they really started hosting. So they would
Maybe
prepare.
also Calvin and Barrett.
Yeah.
I want to say them too.
Later though, later I think.
Yeah, that was later.
So the idea was that NCIX was paying me to host their content, but not paying me very much. So I allocated them about 5 hours of my time a week. So
Pretty generous.
I would show up in the morning on Friday, usually late,
Yep.
and they would have all the scripts ready to go, and I would read them off the prompter, and then it would be up to them to go figure out all the B-roll and visuals and stuff later. I was just literally a talking head. And then I would usually do the Friday episode of Netlinked. And by that time, it was pretty much time for me to like get in my car and head back to my studio for WAN show. So it was like one take policy. If you guys like screwed it up or whatever, I was just gonna trash your joke on camera. Because
They did write in jokes?
They did write in jokes, but like, and like intros and stuff. And I would just be like, that's a terrible intro. Okay, new intro.
Yeah.
And then because the reality of it was, I just didn't care.
But it
I was
turned out-
so checked out of my job.
Yeah.
And you get these multiple layers to it too. So it started with me criticizing Riley's scripts on camera because part of my deal with NCIX was I was supposed to be like training these guys to run the channel in my absence.
Yeah.
So I'm like literally training them on camera.
You did training.
And then
Berating.
Riley starts realizing, well, he's gonna do this no matter what I do. And he starts writing in bait. So then I start taking it. Then I realize he's doing it. And then I'm like, no, I'm not taking your bait. I'm gonna read this stupid thing that you wrote and I'm crediting you with it, you know?
Oh my god.
And that's still probably my favorite thing to do when you host anything is to, well, okay, mostly TechLink, not so much LTT videos, but like writing in something that I know that you are not gonna read like verbatim. I just kind of like put in, it's like a little seed, and then I'm like, I'm gonna see what Linus does with this. And sometimes you just read it out and I'm like, dang it. But sometimes you just like take it and like go off with it and I'm like, yes. So this being a Linus Media Group video, we have a sponsor. The sponsor is Pebblehost, the premium web hosting solution with affordable pricing. You want to host a server for Minecraft or Ark Survival Evolved?
Get your rocks off with Pebblehost.
Hey, I didn't even think about that.
I'm here.
Or just a regular old website, Pebblehost is your solution. Their Minecraft hosting is $1 per gigabyte of RAM running powerful Xeon CPUs and fast SSD storage. And all Minecraft plans come with a 24-hour refund policy. Plus, Pebblehost shows their node statistics publicly. Did you know that?
I did not know that actually.
Well, you can see their hardware isn't oversold or overused. And if you sign up today and use code TechLink, James,
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
you'll get 15% off with your first month today. So check them out at the link below.
That's one pebble you don't want to skip.
Hey,
Oh, can you
See?
tell he's a writer here?
he's got so many.
Content light, that is.
Christopher Chan asks, how do you do a backflip?
Wow, okay.
The trick is to jump straight up in the air instead of back. You want to get to the apex of your jump first, and then commit 100% to the flip. Bring your knees towards your head and back over. Once you get the knees like over the like center line, basically, your weight will just flip you back over.
Wow, that
Wait,
was.
did you do that on camera?
So I don't know how to do a backflip, but I used to be able to do a back handspring. And even for those, the trick is don't throw yourself back too much. The last time I attempted one, I threw myself back onto my head, like right onto my head. And then I never did one again because I tried to do another one and I was too afraid. And if you don't commit, like James said, you won't make it.
Wow, that was way more informative than I expected the answer to that question to be. Okay, Zane Drew asks, who would win in a fight, Linus versus Dennis?
Linus.
Oh, me for sure.
Wait, I'm black belt too.
No, you're not.
I'm Taekwondo black belt.
You're a black
Really?
belt?
I'm actually.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Can you show us a kick?
That
Okay,
was like
no, do a kick.
I can't
You can do it right here.
Do it. I'll do a kick. I'll do it if you do it.
I
Don't
don't
put
think
him
I
on the
can
spot.
Well, let's see. Come on, yeah,
Oh
let's
my
get
gosh.
this. Get this.
Oh my god. This
there,
is not
kick this
scripted.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, yeah.
To be clear, that
No kick starts like that.
last time, it was like 15 years ago.
You still got the
Is it-
muscle memory.
Okay.
You haven't done a kick for 15 years?
Yes. Okay.
That's over.
Let's stand up. Let me kick your face.
You should stand.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do it.
What? Don't actually kick him. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh! Linus knows karate too?
I think he will win. Yeah. He's still doing the martial arts.
No.
And Sam's stream.
No, it's been 15 years for me too.
I think that I could, in a bout with rules and structure, I could beat Linus in a fight, but I think if we actually fought to the death, Linus would win.
I think what the internet really wants to see though is me versus Austin boxing match.
Oh.
You heard it here first.
No, actually, we've talked about
This
it
is
before.
gonna turn into a real video, and I'm gonna be the one producing it. I know it.
I don't think I could hit Austin. He's too nice. It'd be impossible.
Oh, he just has to talk enough smack.
I've heard him try to talk smack. It's pathetic. He's too nice. You know he doesn't mean any of it. You're just like, get in here. You know?
Oh, God.
Hug you to death.
Yeah.
We had a ton of questions about people asking, and it's fair because TechLinked is a relatively new channel. It started in April 2018.
Yeah, last year.
What? That was last year?
So then a lot of people are asking, oh, what about that other channel that, you know, is languishing in the dirt?
The one that's
Channel
more
Super
fun than just fun?
Yes.
Like super
It's
fun?
Not
way
quite
more
ultra
fun.
fun.
Not quite ultra fun?
Right.
It
A lot of
will
people
be
are
very
asking,
fun next year.
When's
Yeah.
the next Channel Super Fun video?
So we actually talk about this a lot. We're gonna start working on it after CES. Right now we have Christmas and CES is gonna be a lot of work.
Yep.
After that, we're gonna start doing pre-production and starting like fresh. We'll rebrand entire channel with different people.
Yeah, it still
Has
has
gonna
like.
get goatee and shave his head.
Is he really?
Don't
It looks
spill
kinda
it.
good though.
It's gonna be Channel Super Fun, the dark and gritty reboot.
I think he might look pretty good.
Another topic that like a million people asked about was TalkLinked, because we haven't really done a TalkLinked in a while.
Just give him a taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why haven't we done a TalkLinked in a while, Riley?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. When's the last one we did? It's probably been at least 3 or 4 months.
It was like a Tesla autopilot one or something.
I thought it was a Ryzen launch.
So TalkLinked was like a really cool opportunity to kind of have more content like this, where we are talking about, okay, we're not really talking about tech news now, but like talking about tech content in kind of a more laid back setting, but not quite to the point where it's like WAN Show.
Why? What's wrong with WAN Show?
Because nothing. WAN Show is great. Great, I love WAN Show.
There's a good chance of seeing more TalkLinked in the near future. I think,
Yes.
because you learned that if you say in a meeting, in a writer's meeting on Monday, hey, I'm not doing an LTT video this week. I want to do TalkLinked. That
Yeah.
apparently Linus said that he'll let you
Apparently,
do that.
yeah.
And secondly, we've just been running more smoothly on LTT lately, where the bottleneck isn't the number of scripts we have ready for a few weeks running now.
Right.
It's usually just Linus's time. So we can do more of
I
this.
would love to do more TechLinked, and a lot of people have asked as well about having other people from the company on, and like people have asked about having guest hosts host TechLinked. So like maybe we can do that as
That'd be
well.
super cool.
I don't know.
How guests are we talking? Like outside the company?
Well, there's a few different questions. I think people were primarily talking about like YouTubers, like if we have other YouTubers here. I didn't even think about that, but like
Yeah, we had
should have
Austin do a tech quickie once. That was cool.
This is more back to kind of logistics. Does Riley or the other writers ever experience burnout when writing TechLinked episodes? Well, first I should ask you if you experience burnout.
No, because it's usually pretty short.
That's a lie.
Like, burn. You mean burn out
That's
by
a
your
bold-faced
jokes?
lie.
Yeah, we need to be
Burn-
honest. Look,
Burn out by your jokes.
a
yes.
million people subscribed. We need to be. We owe them honesty.
Okay, burn out by your jokes, yes. But like the
Burn out
work-
by my jokes?
I feel like editing TechLinked is really fun. I don't really get burnt out.
You're not always
Yeah.
the editor. Sometimes
Sometimes
Mark
will
does
be
it.
Mark, sometimes be A Prime, sometimes be
What
Karen.
determines that?
Well, I'm too busy.
When you're busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And, yeah, I'm fine.
Don't worry about me.
Ask me tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, when we do TechLinked
After
tomorrow.
you edit this.
Yeah. For me, I don't feel like I experience burnout from writing TechLinked, but sometimes there are like just not very many tech news topics going on, you know, and I kind of have to scrounge a little bit. I'm like, oh, maybe that's something I can make a joke about.
What
Where it's
about
like,
the commitment to the channel where you, like we said, you have to come in on holiday Fridays or Mondays when other people are having a long weekend?
that's never really bothered me because I traditionally haven't had very many jobs where I got stat holidays. So it's like I'm used to kind of working stats anyways. And usually I kind of like make up for it by like lttstore.com.
The most drawn out merch spot.
That's.
Sometimes I make up for it by like taking a day off another day or something. But I definitely don't, I don't feel like I'm like, ugh, TechLinked. So, because part of the format is that you're talking about something different every
Always
time.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what? And it's kind of exciting because like,
It's
if
right
I
in the
keep-
name. News.
Yeah,
It's
tech-
new.
Tech.
Do you find your selection of topics has a lot to do with what you're interested in? Like, let's say you see that there's a big cybersecurity thing or like a big crypto heist or something, then you don't really care much about it, but you see there's just pages and pages on forums about it, so the world is interested. Do you find that you just cover those just as readily, or do you try to avoid them? Or?
No, definitely, and I see that from like John too when he writes, and I noticed it when some other people were writing. Is like we definitely just kind of a lot of time we include what we care about because that's what you can talk about. Like I'm not gonna talk about this one company like publishing or launching a network switch because I don't really care about that. But to someone else, they might be like, "Whoa, that network switch has that many things, Ethernet ports." Wow. Yeah. So it definitely depends. Linus, this is mostly a question for you. What is the 5-year plan looking like for Linus Cat Tips?
5-year plan.
Oh my god.
And could we have the cats do tech reviews from time to time?
You have 5 years to get these cats really up to snuff on tech.
Yeah.
You have new talent.
Ouch. I think the best 5-year plan I could give for it is if, for whatever reason, Linus Media Group went completely down the tubes, just like collapsed in front of me. Linus Cat Tips is technically, the intellectual property is owned by me personally, so that could be the channel where I still upload like, you know, videos about how it's day 426 of not having a job because I show up at interviews and people are like, "What are you doing applying here? Weren't you famous?" And so yeah, I'm eating raw macaroni now because we don't have power to heat up the water. You know, like I figured that's what I could use for that.
You have to sell your cats.
Yeah, I had to sell the cats.
Now, what if Techlinked overtakes LTT in subs?
That won't.
Somebody asked that. Chalkboard History wants to know.
That'd be great, actually.
What's the plan?
So
We made it to 1 million.
So what happened when Linus
possible.
Tech Tips overtook NCIX Tech Tips in subs was there was a mutiny, and the staff of Linus Tech Tips took off and started their own company with blackjack and hookers, and then some yahoos were brought in to run the NCIX Tech Tips channel, and the Linus Tech Tips crew was brought in to train them, and then eventually NCIX Tech Tips went away, and those guys hired those guys. So conceivably, you could be running TechLink Media Inc. if that ever happens, and I'd be bankrupt.
I was thinking you would be the one who would go and start a new channel, and we'd all be stuck here with Linus Tech Tips.
No. I was talking through what happened.
Oh,
Where's all the
yeah.
blackjack?
Where was the blackjack?
Sorry, it was before you started.
Elliot Roberts asked, do you ever miss NCIX Tech Tips?
What would I miss about it?
Oh, dang.
I have everything
Throwing
that I
shade.
ever had there, but like better.
No,
like
100%.
a bigger, better crew with like more tech and more channels and fewer restrictions. Like I can do whatever I want here.
Honestly, I feel the same way. I feel like I have nostalgia for NCIX Tech Tips because you look back and be like, oh man, that was.
I remember that room.
Was fun. Yeah, that room.
Certain people.
There was a lot of space in that. That was like kind of like a modern studio we had when we moved over to the other one, and yeah, it was fun. But like, do I wish I was working there instead of here? No. This is like an actual company where people are legit and aren't shady, where you can have true friends. Yeah, 100%. Martin Ross asks, how long does Riley's hair take to do in the morning? Funny story, I don't actually do my hair in the morning. I put my head in the shower in the morning because it's very thick and straight, and if I don't do anything with it, it'll just be floppy all over the place.
Same.
Put the head in the shower, get it wet, and then put a hat on. I mean, I dry it, and then I put a hat on, and then I come to work, and then I do it because then it's already kind of in the shape.
But doesn't the hat screw it?
I can kind of see, actually, I can kind of see the hat line.
Yeah, there's a bit of a hat line. That's the downside. Supreme Joe asks, make Dennis host in Mandarin.
No one's gonna watch that.
Actually, I think I saw like at least 5 or 6 people asking for that specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's.
I don't think that's a very good idea.
I also like.
Well, we'd have English subtitles.
You know how hard to subtitle stuff on my video?
Yeah, it would take a while.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Because I've been told that apparently he's just as hard to understand in Chinese as he is in English.
Yes. Really? No? No, what do you mean? Yes.
And
no.
he says yes. Oh, that's hilarious.
Who say that?
You're at that horrible in-between where your
God.
Chinese is fading and your English isn't perfect yet. So you're just like, he speaks no language, you
My
know?
Taiwanese was
Who
worse.
am I?
Colin Schofield asks, you said the nice thing about TechLink was that anyone can do it. So, Can you guys have Janice from accounting do one?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Sure. Let's ask Janice.
Well,
Is she
not
here?
anyone can do it.
Well, basically, anyone can.
I think
It's
our
scripted.
audience is pretty tolerant, though. Like, if they know it's someone's first try, I think they're a lot more forgiving.
You can have people host where they think that they're not going to do well, and then they actually turn out to like be awesome. Like Yvonne was like so scared the first time she hosted, and I'm like, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. And then she like she like blew through it.
She's
no problem.
petrified of everything.
Yeah.
She's like, her biggest flaw is that she just like is afraid to do anything. She's afraid that she'll like suck at it. It's like,
And then turns out she's
Is that an Asian parents thing?
no.
Is that an Asian parents thing?
No, I think it's.
I think she's just being humble.
It's about being a professional.
No, it's not humility. When you're like, oh, I did so bad on the test, and it's like 98.5 out of 100. That's not humility. That's just like obsession.
She thought she was going to do poorly on the roast as well.
I know.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. That was good.
She tried to back out of it. She was like, I'm not gonna have any material. I'm like, you are literally my wife. All you have to do is stand there and say my penis is small, and you'll get a standing ovation.
And she did.
And she
did.
And it happened. Okay, guys, it's about time. We'll end off with one from UserBotted. And he asks, when will it be time for Quick Bits?
Now it's time for the quick bits.
There's no Quick Bits in this video,
done.
but I actually do want to ask you a question that
Yes.
we haven't got to previously. Why don't you say Quick Bits?
I said it once.
You
did.
Because I made you say it.
No, I said it by accident, like
Yeah, that's what I mean.
a while ago. I totally
With me
spaced
there.
on it.
The
Yeah.
other day, but you
yeah.
re-recorded it. You didn't keep it in. You wouldn't.
No. It's in an episode somewhere.
Oh, okay.
People will have to go look for it.
What's the story though? Because I actually forget why you don't say Quick Bits.
Oh,
it's because it's like,
I think going back, I thought it was stupid because the stories are a lot of the time just as significant and just as long as the other ones.
Yeah,
So I was like, what is
well-
this arbitrary distinction between butt quacks and main topics?
they're a little bit butt quacks. I think initially it was something that you like didn't want to say kind of as a joke, and then
Maybe.
And then now it's kind of turned into a thing where it's like, I have to come up with something for you to say.
I'm
That's
gonna
not Quick Bits.
I'm gonna confess, the joke meant so little to me that when we first started doing Techlinked,
Yeah.
and you were like, all, is he gonna say it? Is he not gonna say it? I had no idea what you were talking about. No, and the audience was all like talking about it in the comments. I was like, was this even a thing? I didn't even remember it. I only started doing it again because you reminded me.
Wait,
What
what?
do you think that means for new viewers? Like they're
Yeah.
watching them and he's like, time for the buck box. They're just like, huh? What the hell is
I
going on?
definitely have thought about that a few times. I'm like, this is gonna make no sense to anyone who hasn't seen the show before. But on the other hand, that's kind of the show already.
All the intros doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. People click on this video and I'm like talking about how I just caught them with their pants down or something, and they're like, wait, what? All right, well, I don't know what else to say.
That was fun.
It was.
That was the information they
Let's do it again. Whoa,
Let's
2
do it
million.
again, 2 million.
There's no plaque for
There's no-
that.
yeah.
Did they send you another one?
We'll just
No.
put this plaque there again and like write 2 on it.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
That might be.
So stay tuned, guys.
Duct tape.
As soon as YouTube revises the design of the gold play button, we're gonna get Channel Superfund resurrected for you guys, and we're gonna earn another one. That's my life's goal now. I'm not real focused on Ruby play buttons or whatever PewDiePie got, the Brofist or whatever for 100 million.
Was it a Brofist?
I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm never gonna get there. So I'm
Never be fisted.
just gonna collect all the gold ones.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Oh God.